So right now, students are responding to the questions that we just answered or that we just considered after watching this video. This means I just recorded my whole journalism lesson with just my face and none of the directions. Dumb. All right, Anna, I see you, girl. If you missed the video, that's okay. It's linked, but you're going to try to watch the video kind of on your own right now, Anna, and then you'll be able to answer these questions.
Ms. Gersh, we have 5 minutes to answer them, you said?
Yeah, you're doing it now. Sorry. Let me move this little stopwatch. Again, if you need another 2 minutes or something, I can give it to the class. In fact, let me reset it now and just start it at, I'll give you 6 minutes. You only need 2 sentences in response to each. I'd like you to do it now, and then I emailed people like earlier today that didn't get to it yet. I want to be like, don't forget to do that. Like I wanted you to do it as if we were in class doing a do now prompt. Okay.
Ms. Gersh, is this a thing from yesterday?
Nope, this is posted today, Kyler, just under Tuesday the 27th, and you're going to look for the little thing that has a question mark in the corner. All right, there is something from yesterday too that we're going to go back to, but this one's okay. This one is a question mark specifically for Tuesday. Oh, you can't see the time, can you? This isn't a hero song, but I'm just going to let it play. It's Dave Matthews, who I know is old, but he is my favorite of all time. I've probably seen him in concert like 15 times. It brings me to my happy place because I listened to it in high school. Turn him down. There's Dave. Oh, he's young in this one. Get our PDF of Iowa. How you guys are working. All right, I'm just checking inventory. You know, I put people that are still working. All right, I can see Gianna's still working, Logan's still working, Yemi's still working, Jamin's still working, Dominic's still working. Right, don't panic. Just finish your work. Bye, Dave. All right. Yeah, I'm going to move on, but I want people to finish their responses today. I can see I got it turned in from Devin, Dean, Alora, and Joe, and I got it turned in from Cernio. Give me a question mark for number 2. That doesn't count, Cernio. Julia, that does not count. Go put it in the comments. We're just going to discuss it now, okay? I can see kind of like what we're doing. That doesn't help. When it says, how have attitudes toward a hero's boasting of one's accomplishment evolved from the Anglo-Saxon period? It means boasting in Beowulf's time was viewed as a good thing because he was establishing himself as a leader, okay? And sharing his credentials. Now, we look when people boast about their accomplishments as bragging, okay? It's, you know, give the example of Han Solo, like doing that. Go put it in the comments now. Won't let you go back in those questions, okay? Or send it to me in an email, sgirst@hamptonschools. But putting question marks is not okay. You guys have to talk to me. This virtual setup is, I can't kind of like hover over your do now like I would in class, all right? And then let's talk about the second question, because Cernio, I see you had a question mark about that, okay? And I'm looking for 2 to 3 sentences for each question, like in the directions here. It says, again, I got to rephrase this question, but how does the Anglo-Saxon pursuit of fame relate to their pagan belief system? So they wanted to be famous and remembered because there was no reward after you died to be in heaven. You just wandered in darkness. So in order to have life beyond, you know, just your heartbeat, you didn't have actual life beyond when you died, but you lived on, quote unquote, in the sense that people remembered you. In order for people to remember you, you have to be famous of some sort. Okay? So that's why they're so in pursuit of fame and glory. It gives their life purpose beyond their time on this earth. Remember, they didn't live long. I think we looked up in this class, or one of my classes, like the average lifespan in the Anglo-Saxon period was like 30 years. Like, you didn't live long. Gosh, I'd already be dead. I'm lamenting how old I am. I'm 38. I'd be done already. Because they didn't have modern medicine. There was a high mortality rate, you know. There was warring tribes and people attacking you. And, you know, think about what we learned about the island of Britain and how many invaders would come. Like, that's why the exile poems, you know, were so sad. People were like, you needed people to survive. Survival was hard. Okay? It just was. So those people need to email me, okay? Or add a comment to it if it lets you. I don't know. Or let you reply to your own Google question, your question posting. All right? Sorry, I didn't mean to put people on the spot like that, but we're still kind of like having class. And as long as I can manage it okay. You know, if I've got 6 million screens in front of me. Yes. Who was that? Sorry.
And we're supposed to write it in like the year answer box, right?
Yep, you can.
Okay.
I didn't know if you submitted it already, if it let you add to it.
I'm still typing on it, but I was confused if we were supposed to do it in the year answer, private comments, or the class comments.
I prefer you to do it in the question spot, but for the people that had already submitted their answers with just question marks, I wasn't sure if it was going to let them go back into that portal. So that's why I said they can put it in the comments or email me. Okay. I see, Cernio, it let you add a reply in a private comment form. Okay. So Julia, I don't know. It let Julia do it in a reply. So that was only because they had already hit submit. Thanks, guys. That's why I have 2 screens. Okay. All right. Let's as those people or as you're finishing up here, we're gonna go. I'm gonna go on and pull up yesterday's worksheet. Okay, it was not due. I changed the due date on that. I just want to make sure nobody hit submit on that by accident yesterday. Let me click on this. Nope, we're good in my cohort A group. And let me just double check my B group and my R group. Okay, 1 person turned it in. All right, Logan, did you finish it all? If you did, okay, we're just going to do it together today. But if you didn't, unsubmit it because I changed the due date and we're going to add more to it today. Okay. We're going to be working with, yeah, this is what I want here. The last section of, well, not the last section, but the final battle of Beowulf. Okay. You guys learned from your introductory Google form website instruction or activity that he has 3 major battles in his lifetime. 2 are linked, Grendel and Grendel's mother. We left off with Grendel's mother yesterday. And for today's reading, we're actually going to be fast forwarding 50 years in his life. Okay. Because remember, we're only reading selections from this text. And again, my cohort R kids didn't get to see this, but if I pull this up, big screen right quick. So I know it's flipped, so it's kind of annoying, but this is a book. This was Seamus Haney's translation in '99 that won an award for poetry. That's Chainmail, by the way, if you weren't familiar with it. And this is a side-by-side text of the Old English and the modern. Again, I know it's flipped backwards, so that doesn't help you that much, but the epic poem is one that, again, even though this is double the length because it's a side-by-side translation, it's huge. And we're only reading pieces of it. So we're skipping a big section after Grendel's mother is killed and Beowulf becoming king. So, I'm just kind of making that observation before we start today. We scroll, Battle with Grendel. Sorry, it takes me a minute to go through this PDF because it doesn't load quickly. I am on my MacBook now, which is the schools that I use for journalism because the Chromebook could not hack it yesterday. Okay, this is Grendel's mother. So hopefully it loads. All right. Okay, here we go. So the only tabs you need up for today are, you don't have to close any out necessarily. Obviously our Google Meet, because I'm showing you the text here, you don't have to open the text as a separate tab. It just kind of overwhelms your Chromebook more. So you're just going to look at our Google Meet and then I will direct us back when we need to. We're going to be working on page 3 of our guide. I'm going to zoom in on it. And then, oh, that's too close. Okay. And you can see I don't have a lot of blanks for us to fill out today. Oh my gosh, it's 12:20. What time does this class end? Oh my gosh. I'm going to read real fast. Sorry. We got a little started late. I think that was it. Goodness, I don't know. All right. I'm going to go ahead and read. I'm going to read a lot. I'm going to read fast, and then we're going to fill them in. Okay. All right. I'm going to read this italicized spot first. It says, after being honored by Hrothgar, Beowulf and his Geats return home, where he eventually becomes king. Beowulf rules Geatland for 50 years, when a dragon menaces his kingdom. Beowulf, now an old man, determines to slay the beast. Before going into battle, he tells his men about the royal house and his exploits in its service, and then he's just going to pick up right here, okay, in line 623. Okay. The last battle, and Beowulf uttered his final boast. Again, we just talked about boasting. I've never known fear. As a youth, I fought in endless battles. I am old now, but I will fight again. Oh. Let's see if I can refresh. Tech is a struggle right now. I needed that page. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Let me close this out. I need this open. We don't have text, do we? Let me try to get it from the link I gave to you. Sorry. Worked all my other periods, okay? Ah. Let me try one more thing. Maybe it's on my desktop. Oh, now it's working. I just grabbed the PDF on my desktop and not online. There it is. Okay. Sorry. Goodness gracious. Press for time. 7 minutes, Miss Gerst. You could do it, or maybe you can't. Who knows? Okay. Sorry. All right. And Beowulf uttered his final boast. I've never known fear. As a youth, I fought in endless battles. I am old now, but I will fight again. Seek fame still, if the dragon hiding in his tower dares to face me. Then he said farewell to his followers, each in his turn for the last time. I'd use no sword, no weapon, if this beast could be killed without it, crushed to death like Grendel, gripped in my hands and torn limb from limb. But his breath will be burning hot. Poison will pour from his tongue. I feel no shame with shield and sword and armor against this monster. When he comes to me, I mean to stand, not run from his shooting flames, stand till fate decides which of us wins. My heart is firm, my hands calm. I need no hot words. Wait for me close by, my friends, and we shall see soon who will survive this bloody battle. Stand when the fighting is done. No one else could do what I mean to. Here, no man but me could hope to defeat this monster. Again, that boastfulness that now we view as arrogance, but then was not viewed as such. No one could try, and this dragon's treasure, his gold and everything hidden in that tower, will be mine, or war will sweep me to a bitter death. All right, let's go to our worksheet. I was taking volunteers for this, but because I'm so pressed for time right now, I'm just going to kind of fill them in, okay? This section opens with Beowulf uttering his final boast. He says he will seek fame one last time. We just talked about boasting and fame in this culture in our opening activity. Okay? And you could just listen to me and have your worksheet open right now. You don't need to be for me to be the tab you see right now. Beowulf tells his men that he will face this dragon alone, and he has no shame about using a sword and shield. He justifies his decision by explaining that this dragon is different from Grendel. You in your fill in the blanks for the Battle with Grendel said in one of the paraphrases that he snapped, or I'm sorry, you said Beowulf sliced Grendel's arm off. He didn't. He didn't use a sword. That was like part of the thing. Grendel fought without weapons, so Beowulf did too. So if I took a point off the Battle with Grendel paraphrase sheet, that's why. Because I was like, no, he snapped it or tore it, but he didn't slice it or cut it because he didn't use a weapon before. All right. I'm going fast, and I know I am. So it's okay. I'll make sure I get you the answers, but I have 5 minutes left and I want to do this. All right, line 650. Then Beowulf rose, still brave, still strong, and with his shield at his side and a mail shirt on his breast, strode calmly, confidently toward the tower under the rocky cliffs. This dragon's living in a tower right now. No coward could have walked there. And then he who'd endured dozens of desperate battles, who'd stand boldly while swords and shields clashed, the best of kings, saw huge stone arches and felt the heat of the dragon's breath flooding down through the hidden entrance, too hot for anyone to stand, a streaming current of fire and smoke that blocked all passage. And the gate's lord and leader, Beowulf, angry, lowered his sword and roared out a battle cry, a call so loud and clear that it reached through the hoary rock hung in the dragon's ear. Like that. Okay. The beast rose, angry, knowing a man had come, and then nothing but war could have followed. Its breath came first, a steaming cloud pouring from the stone, then the earth itself shook. Beowulf swung his shield into place, held it in front of him, facing the entrance. The dragon coiled and uncoiled, its heart urging it into battle. Beowulf's ancient sword was waiting, unsheathed, that means out of its scabbard, which is its holder, his sharp and gleaming blade. The beast came closer. Both of them were ready, each set on slaughter. The gate's great prince, another kenning for Beowulf, stood firm, unmoving, prepared behind his high shield, waiting in his shining armor. The monster came toward him quickly, pouring out fire and smoke, hurrying to its fate. Flames beat at the iron shield, and for a time it held, protected Beowulf as he'd planned. Sorry, lost my spot. And then it began to melt. And for the first time in his life, that famous prince fought with fate against him, with glory denied him. He knew it, but he raised his sword and struck at the dragon's scaly hide. The ancient blade broke, bit into the monster's skin, drew blood, but cracked and failed him before it went deep enough, helped him less than he needed. The dragon leaped with pain, thrashed and beat at him, spouting murderous flames, spreading them everywhere. And the gate's ring giver, another kenning for Beowulf, did not boast of glorious victories in other wars. His weapon had failed him, deserted him now when he needed it most, that excellent sword. Edgethos's famous son, kenning for Beowulf, stared at death, unwilling to leave this world, to exchange it for a dwelling in some distant place, a journey into darkness that all men must make, as death ends their few brief hours on earth. So there's that reference to death being just darkness for the pagans. Quickly, the dragon came at him, encouraged as Beowulf fell back. Its breath flared, and he suffered, wrapped around in swirling flames. A king before, but now a beaten warrior. None of his comrades came to him, helped him, his brave and noble followers. They ran for their lives, fled deep in a wood, and only one of them remained, stood there miserable, remembering as a good man must what kinship should mean. All right, let's fill in these blanks. Beowulf goes to the tower, where the dragon lives. The dragon's breath or fire blocks his passage or his way in. You don't have to put both words, one works. The dragon, Beowulf lets out a battle cry. The dragon attacks and Beowulf stands firm, but his shield melts. Beowulf doesn't move though, and his sword breaks when he strikes the dragon. Okay. I'm going to give you these answers for the last section, but we're going to read it together tomorrow. What's going to happen at the end here in this final section of the final battle is dragon's fire surrounds him. The only warrior of his that stood there was a guy named Wiglaf. Again, I'll just have to read the passage tomorrow, but I want you to be able to turn this in now. The warrior remembered all Beowulf had done for him, and Wiglaf scolds or yells at, whatever you want to put, all the other men who fled, saying that they betrayed their promise to Beowulf, and he's going to jump in to help Beowulf survive. So I gave you those answers, even though we didn't read line 714 to 774 because of time, because I'd like you to still submit this today. I don't want it to be like something still sitting there that has to be done. Tomorrow in class, we are going to be finishing up this story. I will probably, you know what? I'm going to read this section tomorrow, and then we will read the last two, the spoils and the farewell, and then it's done. My game plan the rest of the week is this. You're going to get a study guide for me. We're going to take a test on Friday. If you're going to be absent ahead of time, let me know. I'd like to take care of it before the fall break, in which all your Beowulfs, I'll have a study guide and things to remember for the test. My game plan also tomorrow is to start, and we might just be able to do it Thursday, but we're going to look at a couple scenes from the Avengers movies on Thursday and compare and contrast some of the different presentations. We won't obviously get to watch the whole thing, but that will be our focus Thursday if we don't start it tomorrow. And then Friday will be the test. I will finalize how I'm going to adapt it for online instruction today. I'm going to have to look through my old files. But I want you to make sure you hit turn in on this task today. Okay, sorry I had the issues with the text. I don't know why it wasn't loading, but I had the PDF on my desktop on my laptop anyway. Hit turn in for this so you'll get a grade. And then, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. I'm going to end my recording now. Let me get to it here. And you guys, I'm off this period, so you're